Okay, I think that's it. All right, so welcome to day 4. Yes, this is day 4 of Mastering SEO. Today, we are going to talk a little bit more about backlinks, and we're going to talk about a concept called content syndication, which is how to repurpose your content to get even more SEO juice. Is kind of what we're going to talk about. So those are kind of the topics for today. So let me share my screen and we will get started. So let's see here. Okay, so first topic for the day is you want things on your site that are sticky, right? And what do I mean by sticky? It means if they come to your site, that there's something that can engage them that will A, let you know that they were there, and B, somehow get them to connect with you. Okay. For me, I have my newsletter, right? And every time someone, and then I promote my newsletter. I send out a newsletter every Monday that talks about, I always have a marketing or management tip. And then I talk about what's going on in Charleston as far as training and networking. And then I do shout outs from my members, like if they've got a special offer or if they've got an event coming up or, they've been honored in some way, those kinds of things go in my newsletter.
Oh, very good.
And so that's what this right over here is, my newsletter subscription. And and it's on almost every page of the site is a way that you can subscribe to the newsletter. And so it's, if you visit my site, you're going to be encouraged to subscribe to my newsletter. Now, sometimes I'll run a special promotion and I'll have like what do I want to say, like a box that'll show in the middle. So I'll say, subscribe now. I don't have it running right now. I just have it in the sidebar. And what this is, I have an email management system called Aweber. And MailChimp does the same thing, or Constant Contact does the same thing. But what I did was set up this box in Aweber. And so if anyone fills this in, it automatically subscribes to my newsletter. I don't have to do anything to it. It just happens.
So
right?
you use Constant Contact.
Yep.
Set up email. So can you, is this a function? Do you know if this is a function in Constant Contact as well?
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And then I used Constant Contact years ago before I switched to Aweber. But so Constant Contact, they do have, when you create a list in Constant Contact, they have an option to create a sign-up form. And so when you create the sign-up form, they will then give you the option of they can host the form or they can give you the HTML that's right here, so that you can add it to your site. And let me go to my back office real quick and I'll show you kind of where that would go. Since you do use WordPress, I can show you the back office of WordPress and go, this is how you do it.
That's awesome.
I don't know why it has decided to like lose all my passwords today.
That is the worst.
It really is. I mean, I know I can look them all up, but it's like, whatever.
Yeah. And especially since everything has a password.
Right. You know what? It just doesn't want me to look at it. So, all right, tomorrow I'll have that fixed and I'll show you the back end and show you how to do it. But so newsletters are a great idea. The other thing that I think of for you in the merchant services credit card processing kind of thing is you could have have people request more information, like create what's called white papers, or special reports about here's 5 things you should ask, before you sign up for a merchant services account, right? Here's the 5 things. And then you just rotate that every once in a while. But then everyone who requests it, you'd be getting their email information. So you could then keep in touch with them,
Right.
And then what you do is, say you have that special report on the 5 questions to ask before you sign up for merchant services. You can then take that and then you promote it like on social media or through email, and just say, go to our website and request that special report. Okay. Don't send it out, other way. I mean, make them drive traffic to your site.
Okay.
Okay. And make them request it from your site, because that's how you're going to get better SEO, because you're going to actually be driving traffic to your site and having people, and Google will notice, like, oh, look, all these people went from Facebook to the site. They went from LinkedIn to the site. Oh, there are people like typing in the site address, we don't know from where, because it's not necessarily a Google search, but it came from your email. Right? Every single time you drive traffic, it just makes Google take notice.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend that you do some things on your site that encourage people to engage. And that kind of gets back to, that whole, I can't remember what Linda was calling it, but it looked like the industry news.
Yeah.
So it looked like maybe she was going to do a blog. Okay. And that's a great, if you've got a blog, then there's multiple ways to promote a blog. Okay. So first thing, get something sticky on your site. And it can be 1 or 2 things. Get either subscribe to a newsletter, request a free report. Those are usually the kinds of things that people, will respond to.
Okay.
So definitely think about some of that. And the thing is that you can have a series of free reports, right? You could actually you could actually create a page and say, download, for free, or request these free reports, and you can have 4 or 5 of them out there, on slightly different topics, and they have to give you the email to get the report.
Right.
But then you know that they're interested in the topic, and B, have like their email address that you can then follow up with them.
Very cool.
Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to kind of talk about is, this thing called content syndication. Have you ever heard of content syndication?
I have not, but I've heard of syndicated content.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. Exactly. Same kind of thing, right? Syndicated content or content syndication, same difference.
Okay, good. So I understand the idea of this.
Okay, all right. So there are groups, and I just did a quick search on Facebook before we came on. There used to be like hundreds and hundreds of groups for syndication, and now there's maybe not as many. I mean, there's still a few, and some of them I'm like, not quite. But like here's YouTube content syndication, right? Like anytime you do a YouTube video, you go in. The idea of syndication groups, right, is that everyone in the group is willing to share other content for SEO purposes.
Okay.
Like this one, I'm a member of this Post Your Blogs and Articles for SEO, and apparently I haven't been on for a little while because I've got 25 unread posts. The whole point is you post your blog out there, right? But you go out and you review like 5 or 6 of other people's posts, and you like it, you share it, you make a comment on their post, and then they go to your comment, they go to your content, and they like it and share it and make content, make comments. And I mean, some of these groups have quite a few people, so you can really find, like, you could find other people that are talking in the financial or business setup, or, not necessarily other people talking, merchant services, but you could find people that are talking about credit cards in some way, or, content that's related but not competitive. And you can just really, like, here's like Bloggers Network. And some of these I'm looking at going, when I did the content syndication, I'm going, they're not all coming up. Like this one's content syndication. Content, there used to be like hundreds of them, and now there's maybe not as many. But you don't have to join everyone, right? Join a couple groups and see if there are some bloggers out there talking about similar topics to you, that you can do that exchange of information, right? It's like, I'll promote you if you promote me.
Excuse me. Yes. Sounds okay.
Yeah, and it can be, if you get the right group. Matter of fact, I noticed out here, they've got like this women in business, and they really do a good job of syndicating. Like if you post in there, all of those ladies will like it and share it and make comments, and then when they post, you go and so there's a couple of the groups that are really, and they don't necessarily have to say content syndication. There might be some groups out there that are for credit card processors and stuff that you can kind of create your own syndication. But there are specific groups that are out there just specifically to promote your content for SEO. Okay. Then the other way to do it is, there are services out there that do content syndication. And like, I'm trying to think, I've used a couple of them. Content syndication platforms. Like Outbrain is really, really good. Taboola is really, really good. Now they all cost a little bit, those anyway. And there are some free ones out there. Let me see here. I know I do. I can't even remember the name of one that I've got out there. And it's not going to help me remember the password either. But this is what syndication does, right? It's, you sign up with one of these services, and then if anyone, like if there's an article, like the Wall Street Journal does an article about credit card processing, you show up down the bottom under From Around the Web, some article that you've done. And so Outbrain and Taboola, I don't know this one. Samantha, I don't know. ARC has been around for a while, but Taboola it really does spread your content, and they aren't expensive. They're probably like between 25 and 50 a month. But if you've got some articles, Scoop It is the one that I have used. And basically what Scoop It does, it allows you to create your own page, and then as you go around, as you search the web and you see information, or not necessarily your competitors, but information. It popped right up. So here's mine. You can actually then just add articles and then send people to your page on Scoop It. And here, see, I have women entrepreneurs. So I've got 8 top tips to help women startups, women entrepreneurs from home. I mean, these were a while ago, but
very cool.
But so I could actually, there should be a link somewhere that then I could, if I had my own, and you can upload your own documents, or you can put your links. You can actually link to your website or link to your blog posts, or write your own articles and put them out there. And then anyone on Scoop It can, as they're searching around, if anyone else puts in like women entrepreneurs, my articles are going to show up, and then they can share it too.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so these little sites out there can really help you. I mean, get a backlink, but also share any content that you have.
Right.
Right. But the one that I say everyone really should at least consider, right, is Reddit. Now, are you familiar with Reddit?
Yeah.
Okay.
r/women entrepreneurs.
So, Reddit, it's the front page of the internet, right? The great thing about Reddit is that newspapers, news articles, reporters review Reddit. I mean, they just do, because people will put things out there on Reddit that they find, right? And they have a great community. It gets all kinds of, if you've ever spent any time on Reddit, like they've got this rising or controversial or hot. Oh my gosh, there's like the most interesting things on Reddit. Seriously. I mean, I go in there for science stuff, and it's like my head is blown every single time. Like,
very interesting thing.
No idea that was going on.
Right.
But here's what Reddit does. Once you sign up, you get sign up as an account. Right over here on the right-hand side, submit a new link. Right? So definitely submit your website at some point. But then anytime you do a blog, you can submit a new link, or you can submit a new text post. So again, like those white papers you might write or whatever, you can submit them directly right here and include a backlink back to your website and encourage people to, for other white papers, come to my website.
Right.
But Reddit definitely brings in traffic. So you definitely want to consider it. Yeah, and the thing is, you don't have to put something on Reddit every day, right? Like, every 6 weeks or every other month, post something to Reddit, just to build some backlinks, but also just, a little bit of recognition that you're out there.
Cool.
And you can also, you can do a search on Reddit, and I don't know what might be out there for credit card processing.
Excuse me.
Let's just see what might come up. So there are subreddits for credit card processing, legal advice for small business. So you could join one of the subreddits, and let me just join this one right here. Small business. I'm not so interested in credit card processing, but the small business one maybe. Let's see here. And let's see what's out there. Moving company startup need help, questions from aspiring. So you could go out here and you could find if anyone's asking questions about credit card processing. And you can answer them. Should a doctor try to manage 40 pages without a secretary? Well, I would answer, heck no. But so I'm in the small business ones. The credit card one, let's just go back and see. Let's just see what's out there. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah.
Credit card processing. Let's see what they're asking about credit card processing. See what kind of content is there. List of credit card processing companies. looking for a credit card processing system, high risk merchant, how to balance transfer, credit card processing, you know, small business credit card processing. Let's see what this one says. Oh, see, this is just his website. All right. You know, and so if you look at some of these and you're like, well, you know what? Those are my competitors. I should be here too. Because people are doing exactly what I do, right? They kind of go through and they look around and they're like going, oh, you know, it's like, yeah, like keep all your transaction fees, right? Yeah, sure. Like, yes, I want to know how to do that. Like how to choose the right merchant services company. You know, some of these are older, but they're still. So this is Allied Payments, and see, this is their blog.
Mm.
With related posts and. Yeah, so it's just another place to put your information out there. That's free, right? And it's amazing, like, you know, Reddit at one point was like in the top 10 websites that get visited. And they liked new stuff, so.
Right.
All right, so definitely look at Reddit. And again, kind of the benefit of Reddit, not necessarily, I mean, it's a good backlink to have that you want that people to be able to find you there.
Mm-hmm.
And it could very possibly bring you some traffic from different things. You know, and scoop it if you want to look at, if you do a search for content syndication, some of the syndication services, it depends on how big you want to get, right? And how much you are willing to pay for syndication. Like I said, they're not that expensive, like $20 a month or so. But, you know, but then your content will show up all over the web. Okay. Another great way to kind of build credibility, backlinks, that kind of thing, is press releases. Now, I pulled up a site, and this is one of the things I will email to you.
Okay.
Where's right here? So my favorite online press release sites. And there's a ton of them. These are like prweb.com. Does allow you to post for free, but they'll try to get you to do a paid one, right?
Right.
Freepressrelease.com, PRlog. You know, and I will send you this list.
Okay.
It's one of those things that for each of those sites, you know, you sign up and create an account.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can post press releases. Now, and because these are international big sites, your press release doesn't have to be something real super newsy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but your press release sites could be, your press release that you write could be something as simple as, you know, DESBA Court, you know, launches new website, right? And
Right.
just a paragraph or two about what changes did you do on your website with a link to the new website. Every time you do like one of these white papers that we were talking about, then,
Mm-hmm.
you know, do a press release that says DESBA now has available, you know, a special report called, you know, 5 things you should ask about merchant services kind of thing. Go to this website to get it, right? And then the next one, you know, 2 months later, you post another one that says DESBA Corp now has available a special report on, ways to cut your processing fees. But all of these sites out there are available, and they all have constituencies, right? So like PR Web, well, I mean, it replies to all, but like PR Web will have certain reporters, certain news outlets that have subscribed to PR Web. So that every time you post something on PR Web, those reporters are getting notifications that, hey, there's been a press release on this topic.
Okay.
And so who knows, like, if a reporter from the New York Times happens to be looking for credit card processing information, and they run across that little press release and they go to your site. I mean, that happens. I mean, every single one of these press release sites have reporters and news organizations that subscribe to them and get notifications from them.
Okay.
So,
Very
and I think I've put, 20 of them out here or whatever. And the thing is that, again, it's not like you do 20 of them every day, right? The way I usually do it is I'll do like 4. If I write a press release on something that I want kind of spread out, I'll do like 4 or 5 this week. Then I'll wait 2 weeks, and then I'll do 4 or 5 the next week, and then I'll wait a couple days, and then 4 or 5. So you can have the same content, but you can drip it out over a couple months.
Okay.
I mean, unless it's something real, especially, if it's more generic content. Because, I mean, then it's just generating, but every single time you put it out there, like if you put it on PR Web, when PR Web distributes it or makes it available, they're going to give you a unique URL. But take that unique URL and put it into Google, into Bing.
Right.
And so, and that's just because and all of these sites allow you to put your website, your URL in there as for more information kind of thing. So every single one of those is just building backlinks. And it also, again, if you write press releases, make sure you're using your keywords, right? You're always going to want your keyword, just like writing your blog post, use your keywords in your headline if possible, in your first paragraph if possible, and in the last paragraph if possible. Make sure when you write it'll ask you to write like a summary of your press release, which is 2 to 3 sentences. Make sure you use your keyword. And then if someone does, a search in PR Web, a lot of like PR Web for sure, is called an authority site. And so if your keyword is showing up there, do you really care if the press release you wrote shows up on the first page of Google versus the actual website, if they can go to the press release and then get the link to your website?
Right.
I mean, and the other thing, Google likes news. If you notice on certain things, they will prioritize news for just a day or two. I mean, news, but they will do fresh news on their searches.
Okay.
So anytime you do a YouTube video, you can write a little press release going, hey, Desma Corp just released a new video about, with Linda talking about, whatever. Anytime you sign up a new client, because this can help your clients too, right? You can write a press release that says, hey, Desma Corp is, honored to work with, Hall's Chop House to, do better payment processing, or whatever, right? And then it's kind of like you're helping them get some press and hear.
All right. Um, okay.
Right. Well, oh, and I had pulled up free press release just to, this is, that you can do it for free, or you can do $19. So you can have pictures and your link, and you still have the social media sharing button, or you can do $59 to have them really distribute for you. They give you a PDF version, and so each one of those sites has their own packaging. The only one I ever really pay for, and I have paid a couple times for, PR Web. I have paid for that one, and I think I've paid for maybe PR.com.
Okay.
But the rest I use their free services. But yeah, it's just really, you create an account and you go out there, and it just talks you through, start, and you put your headline. Again, you should always have your keyword. Then you write your little summary. Again, you should have your keyword. Then here's the body. And then you can tag it. And again, one of your tags should be your keyword. And then over here you can, what date, your category, and location. You can choose United States, or you can actually choose just the Charleston area. And then you put in your information. And then you review it, it'll create a page, and then you hit publish. Yeah, and they have tons of categories. You can kind of choose where yours would go. Probably in, let's see here. Well, depends. I mean, you might have, depending on what you're talking about, you may want to be in restaurants, or you may want to be over here in small business, or, so there's different categories that you can put your stuff in.
Okay.
And play around with it. But again, it's just a way to generate more SEO, because you're going to be in more places. Because the more ways that people can find your website, the better.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, like you were saying earlier, that you don't necessarily need to pay for these PR websites. Like, their free services are usually good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, if there is something that you're like going, you know what, this is, we're looking for a real bump.
Right.
That $19, maybe worth it.
Okay.
So it really, it just really depends. I pay occasionally.
Right.
But my business doesn't really depend on, having a regular, $50 a month pay. It's like I don't have to do that.
Right.
Because I'm not growing to that extent. But depending on what it is, if you really want to make a big splash, then go ahead and pay for one.
Okay.
And just, and kind of watch the ROI, see how much traffic you do get.
Mm-hmm.
And then, then we'll see.
Okay.
All right. All right. So, you haven't set up a Google account yet, have you?
No, I was in the process of it yesterday.
Okay.
Linda and I weren't able to get together like we thought we were.
Oh, okay.
But I can have one by tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, because tomorrow I want to kind of go through Google Analytics.
Okay.
Or at least, take a look.
Yeah.
And I'm just concerned right now that my computer has lost all of my saved passwords. I'm going to have to go back and find them. I'm like, oh yeah, it may take a little too long to search them at the moment. But definitely tomorrow we're going to talk. I'm going to show you. Actually, you know what? I might be able to. We were talking about the remarketing pixel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can find the remarketing pixel. To do that, you're going to have to create an ads account in Facebook ads. Let's see here. I think the pixel, let's see if it's in audiences. Come on, that's open. This may take a moment. Yes, it may. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I've got one that says pixel not installed. Where's my pixel not installed? But so you would create a new audience under create audience and make it a custom audience probably.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. And then what do you want to do? You want to do website traffic, and that's generally, are you going to put it on your website?
Right.
So, because, I don't have an app, so. Well, and there should be a pop up. There it is. I'm like going, where's the box? Okay, so there's my Mirelli pixel, but what if I want a new pixel? Well, there's my ID. Trying to figure out why it's not already installed. Ah, my copy. Well, let me copy. But so you would create an audience. So just because I'll delete it later, like credit card processor. Okay, but it didn't give me my pixel. Oh, all right. Oh, it defaults to using my Mirelli pixel, and it didn't ask me to create a new one. All right, we'll have to play around with that, but it's back here in your ad manager.
Okay.
Yeah, because I already have a pixel. It's just saying that I'm using that pixel. It's like, no, I want to choose a new one.
Right.
So, the first time through, it makes you create one. And now it's just trying to use my old one. It's like, no, I don't want to use, it's saying I'm using the Mirelli pixel. Well, all right, so we'll have to play with that. 79 notifications. Oh, no. All right. All right. Well, I think that does it for today. Be thinking about press releases, think about ways to distribute your content in other ways. Definitely get something sticky on your site that people can request so that you can get information from them and that you can drive traffic to your site.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kinds of things to look at for today. Just more things to put on your plate. All right, any questions?
Not at the moment. We'll probably have some tomorrow when we actually start going through, like with the account and going through the ads and things like that, or the statistics and things like that. I would definitely have questions about. But no, today again was very straightforward. It's just a process of getting things together. I think that because really at this point we just need to build content
Right.
to put out. And so I am having, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Ooh, excuse me. I am having some ideas, though. We do engage in our LinkedIn and the Facebook profiles with like industry updates, things like policy updates, things like that, on sort of like that are happening on like a national scale and like a local scale.
Yep.
And I was thinking of adding that to the info section, or to the industry update section on the website, excuse me. And I'm thinking that we can sort of use those outreach posts as sort of like these white paper special reports.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of in that way, and maybe push those even more and sort of milk them a little longer.
Yeah, exactly. And those are the kinds
Yeah.
of things that, you can write the press releases about,
Right.
hey, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I'm having ideas. It's just, right now we're almost, we need to just get stuff up, stuff created.
Yeah. And that's really what, the whole website thing is really it's content.
Right.
Content. So,
Yeah.
and you can have content in various ways, right? You can have writing, you can have video, you can have special reports, you can have actual on page content. There's a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You can always, like on your industry updates, you can always link to other people's articles and things too, to
Right.
keep cross links, and that's fine.
Cool.
All right. Good enough. We will see you tomorrow.
Awesome. I'll see you then.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye.